Hello, BookTube. Well, it's that melancholy moment. It's the last mail haul of the week. Sorry the video is so late, but once again, I found myself sprawled on the couch. Beautiful, fragrant summer breezes coming through the screen on the window. Frida all relaxed on top of the couch right next to my head. I was reading, and then I was writing, and it was so peaceful. It was so wonderful that it felt wrong to interrupt it. It felt wrong to do anything to bring it to a halt. All I could think about was all the times when I haven't been able to do that, when that's all I wanted to do. The times when I had to work, for instance. And I knew perfectly well that those same breezes would be there, the same dog would be there, the same couch would be there, but I couldn't be there. I wanted to be, badly, but I couldn't be. Or, for 2.5, 3 years, there would have been dogs on that couch, and I would have been on that couch, and the breeze would have been there, but there would have been no peace, because the dogs would be uncomfortable, or they would need to pee, or they would pee right on the couch, or something like that. So all the combinations together like this was just felt wrong to interrupt it and start filming videos. So these videos are going to be late. But you can watch them tomorrow. But anyway, we have mail. We have a small stack of packages here, and we'll just go through them and hope for the best. Starting with this one. What have we got here? Are you interested? Oh. Maybe she wore... Earlier today, I made another video, and she wore herself out being a pest. Chewing on one thing, then hopping up on the bed and chewing on something else, then chewing on something else. All things she shouldn't chew on, when the floor is covered in things she can chew on. And maybe she wore herself out, because she's not even moving. Oh, stand up, Frida. Your fans want to see you. They're tuning in more for you than for me. Oh. There's also another factor is that she is a year old now, and after sunset she tends to start winding down. It's weird. But, so what have we got here? Okay, this is a January book. I was noticing the other day that more and more January books, more and more 2019 books are showing up. I think we're not far off from a time when mail hauls will just be entirely 2019. So I will be talking about them all speculatively. And this first one is 2019. This is January. This is The Suspect by Fiona Barton. This is a new thriller from the author of The Widow and the Child. And this is her highly anticipated third novel, reaffirming her reputation as an author who combines propulsive narrative with subtle, insightful commentary on the universal stories of family, identity, and loss. Okay, all right. A writer who belongs on the shelf with Tana French, Louise Penny, Megan Abbott, and Paula Hawkins. Okay, so after two girls go missing in Thailand during their gap year, Kate Waters, who is the reporter who is the main character here, can't help but think of her son Jake, who ran off to Thailand after a rough patch in school and has barely been heard from since. When the story of the missing girls turns to tragedy, Kate flies to Thailand to investigate the potentially grisly crime. But upon her arrival, her professional and personal worlds collide in a shocking manner. While Barton's previous books have posed moral dilemmas about how far Kate would go to get a story, now Kate must face the question, what happens when the reporter becomes the reported? Okay, my first guess would be that when she gets there, she realizes that her son is the suspect in the disappearance of the girls. But I won't know until next year. So we have, okay, so we're off to, this is the first of our books. This is The Suspect. It's a thriller. Let's move on. Let's move on to this next one. Oh, okay, great. All right, this comes out in the new year as well. Bean, did I hand you the pub sheet by mistake? No. Okay, go ahead. This is by Amy Greenberg, and it is Lady First. This is a biography of Sarah Polk, the wife of President Polk. So its natural readership is pretty much Steve and nobody else, but nevertheless, I'm happy to be included. I will certainly give it a try. I don't have a pub sheet of any kind, but this is let's see. While the Women's Rights Convention was taking place in Seneca Falls in 1848, First Lady Sarah Polk was wielding influence unprecedented for a woman in Washington, D.C. Yet while history remembers the women of the convention, it has all but forgotten Sarah Polk. Amy Greenberg brings her story into vivid focus. We see her father raising her on the frontier to discuss politics and business as an equal with men. We see her use savvy and charm to help her brilliant but unlikable husband. Okay, I actually agree with that description completely. Brilliant but unlikable. James Polk ascend to the White House. And we see her exercising truly extraordinary power as First Lady, quietly manipulating elected officials, shaping foreign policy, and directing a campaign to support America's expansionist war in Mexico. Fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, okay. Great. I am on board. And not only for this, if the current American fascination with all things presidential leads to a fad of people re-examining the lives of U.S. First Ladies, I will be so happy, because most of them had incredible breadth of complexity to them that is not recorded, that don't have the biographies they deserve. Boy, if this is the first pebble in an avalanche, Steve would be very happy. I hope it's good. We shall see in next year. Let's see what this next one is. What we really need is a finished copy, something that I can read in this year. Would be nice. Oh, okay, great. Ask and you shall receive. This is a finished copy for October, if I remember correctly. Oh no, it's late September. Okay, this is late getting things. This is by Patrick Sparrow, and it is Frontier Rebels. The subtitle is The Fight for Independence in the American West, 1765 to 1776. This is a part of American history, the softening of the ground for the American Revolution that's almost never told, even in big panoramic histories of the American Revolution. This aspect is almost never told. And this is the untold story of the Black Boys, a rebellion on the American frontier in 1765 that sparked the American Revolution. Okay. Samuel Adams sparked the American Revolution. Okay. Drawing on largely forgotten manuscript sources from archives across North America, the author recasts the familiar narrative of the American Revolution, moving the action from the eastern seaboard to the treacherous western frontier. Fantastic. Okay, I'm going to be late reading this. This comes out in... This came out in a week ago, so I'm going to be late reading this, but not too late. Oh, that's right, I was told to turn the camera on the little engine of destruction. Look what she's doing. She's pausing over her latest kill. All right, so let's see. Yes, I was told to kindly tip the camera down once in a while to show the destruction that you can hear, so you can see it as well. I was also told, someone also told me, hilariously, that in the future, if I am going to read a piece of contemporary poetry, I should give a warning first, in case some of you are eating. I laughed my head off at that comment, but it also made me feel a little bad. It made me feel like maybe we're all being a little too harsh about contemporary poetry. So next time I get a slim volume of poetry, we're going to take it really seriously, and I will give you a warning. Might even do a whole video. Maybe I'll just assemble a whole bunch of contemporary poetry books, and we'll go through them and see what sense we make out of them, because that was hilarious, but it also felt bad. I felt bad for the poets. Oh my. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, this is a brainy production from Harvard University Press. This is probably due in October. Yes, it is. It's a slim thing. It's by Anna Marie Skalka, and it's called Discovering Retroviruses. Beacons in the Biosphere. Approximately 8% of our DNA contains retroviral sequences that are millions of years old. Through engaging stories of scientific discovery, the author explains our evolving knowledge of these ancient denizens of the biosphere. and how understanding has, this understanding has significantly advanced research in genetic engineering, gene delivery systems, and precision medicine. Wow. Okay, 8% of your DNA is retroviral. Wow. This book begins with pioneers who first encountered these RNA-containing viruses and solved the mystery of their reproduction. Oh, what happened? That wasn't a package. Oh, that was a computer. Oh, Frida. You have to be a little careful there, baby girl. I don't want you destroying machinery. Stick with the envelopes. They're more your speed. Okay, so who is the author? She's a professor emerita at Fox Chase Cancer Center in Philadelphia. And this comes out in early October. So I guess the main question is, will it be over my head? I want to read about the subject, but oh, goodness gracious. Oh, my God. Well, in 2018, I have read very little in the way of hard science. I do get it, but I sometimes shy away from reading it, and that's not right, especially when something is as small as this. So I will give it a try. It will teach me a lot about retroviruses. All right, let's get started here. My Chromebook is charging, propped against the wall, and the beam knocked it over in her fury. And where that would have caused me cardiac arrest had it been a MacBook, the fact that it's a $200 Chromebook isn't so bad. See, it's charging down there, and beam knocked it over. But it's a workhorse. It's really solid, and it's really good. It's a really good machine. It's as I predicted. It does 99% of what I need a computer to do. So 10 years ago, if Chromebooks had existed, if this technology had existed 10 years ago, I would never have got a MacBook. All right, so what have we got here? Okay, this is another Harvard University thing, also in early October. This is Power, Pleasure, and Profit by David Wooten. Insatiable Appetites, from Machiavelli to Madison. Power, Pleasure, and Profit. Bet you all thought we were going to talk about Memento Mori, didn't you? No, it's so what is this? Sounds awful vague. We pursue power, pleasure, and profit. We want as much as we can get, and we deploy instrumental reasoning, cost-benefit analysis, to get it. We judge ourselves and others by how well we succeed. It is a way of life and thought that seems natural and inevitable and inescapable. As the author shows, it is anything but. Sorry. Okay, now the question is, am I going to sneeze nonstop for the next 2 hours? If it happens, I'll just turn the video off. I've had enough of me for today anyway. So the book goes for 4 centuries of Western thought, from Machiavelli to James Madison, to show how new ideas about politics, ethics, and economics stepped into the gap opened by religious conflict and the scientific revolution. Okay, so this does sound really big and baggy. We'll have to see if the author can pull it off. He's the anniversary professor of history at the University of York, and he's written a bunch of books, so he might be able to. We shall see. Okay, so it sounds like a quasi-philosophical meditation on power, pleasure, and profit. So, thank God for Harvard University Press. I swear, academic presses with deep endowments are the only places that can put out books like this or retroviruses. The popular press couldn't do it. No way. Because with something like either one of these, you can't guarantee any sales beyond what you send to libraries. And most publishing houses, commercial publishing houses, need a guarantee of sales. As it is, the public gets to read about these things. These authors get to write their latest work, present their latest thinking on non-commercial subjects, and they'll show up in bookstores. If it's a university press that's big enough, like Yale or Harvard, it'll show up in bookstores. So, thank God for university presses. Then we move on. We have cardboard, no boxes, but we'll end with a couple of cardboard packages. Starting with this one. Let's What's that? You don't want to stand up, baby? Oh, she is getting drowsy. It has nothing to do with her destruction. She gets drowsy when it's nighttime. All right, okay. Let's see here. Oh, goodness gracious. We still can't get away from Adam Memento Mori. This next one is Sex on the Kitchen Table. The Romance of Plants and Your Food. This is by Norman Elstrand. And it's going to be a paperback in November. Avocado toast may be the single most divisive restaurant item in our age. I don't know what avocado toast is. It's obviously never divided me. Some hail it as the delectable, healthy-ish brunch go-to of the moment. Others decry it as a marker of millennial privilege and ineptitude. For plant geneticist Norman Elstrand, duality is definitely the key to avocado allure. But it's also all about sex. Okay, all right. As he reveals in Sex on the Kitchen Table, we owe the existence of these creamy fruits to an astonishing, decidedly non-binary gymnastics of gender, as avocado trees and flowers, neither male nor female but both, assume a different sex depending on time of day and genetics, dovetailing together to produce the guac on our toast. Okay, so this is going to be entirely a test of how much Steve wants to read about avocados. That's all right. Okay. So am I right in remembering? Yeah, Sarah Polk is the closest we have to a Steve book, and we're almost done with this mail haul. This is the last package. This thing, one of these vacuum pack things here. So take a look at this. But, a bit of... You have to tear these things apart to find out what's in them. But a bit of military history, oh, God forbid, or a Roman emperor would kill you. Oh, so... Okay, ask and you shall receive. It's a bit of military history. Good. This is from Da Capo Press. This is the Finnish copy of Edward Lengel's Never in Finer Company, which is the Men of the Great War's Lost Battalion. This is the Finnish copy of it. When the United States first finally entered the war in 1917, it sent its young soldiers off with parades and ceremonies. But the new recruits often lacked experience, which would put them at greater risk. It would also make their actions all the more remarkable. And I know all about that, because I just read a great book on the subject of America in World War I. Just a terrific revisionist history of America in World War I. I wonder if these authors know each other. In this book, Edward Lengel traces the origins of New York City's 77th Division of the United States Army, from its quickened stateside training to its baptism by fire in northern France's Argonne Forest in October of 1918. Recalling its journey as we near the 100th anniversary of what would become the most heroic episode in American military history. Oh, come now. The most heroic episode in American military history? Oh, come now. Lengel tells the story of one of the 77th Battalions and other units as they were ordered to advance into a forest swarming with German troops. Of the more than 600 men who were soon surrounded and cut off, only 194 made it out alive. And I've had the advanced copy. I showed the advanced copy on this channel. I've had the advanced copy of this for a while, and I just haven't got to it. It's a September release. That's how bombarded I am with books. There's still September books that I'm getting to. Anyway, so that's it. That does it for our mail. This is Never in Finer Company, Military History, World War I, America in World War I. Sex on the Kitchen Table, about avocados and guac. Power, Pleasure, and Profit by David Wooten. Rediscovering Retroviruses. This is a history not only of their discovery, but I guess a lot of the latest science about what they are and what they do. That's the part that will be fascinating to me. Frontier Rebels, about the prelude to the American Revolution out west. Lady First, about Sarah Polk. A new look, a fresh look at Sarah Polk. Fantastic. Utterly fantastic. And Fiona Barton's new thriller, The Suspect. So there we have it. That's pretty much half and half for books that this year and next year. And that is our last mail haul of the week. No Screaming Steve book, but there've been quite a few of those this week, so maybe it's the most I can expect. But I will wrap this up for now, because once again I've given you close to 2 hours of video time to watch today. So I'll wrap this up, but I will see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.